Picture a caveman. Chances are you're imagining a hunched, grunting brute in a constant state of panic, spending every waking second fleeing from massive predators or shivering alone in a dark cave. The archaeological record tells a different story. Anatomically modern humans living in the Paleolithic era enjoyed leisure time, took pride in their personal appearance, and raised their children in highly supportive, cooperative communities. If our ancestors weren't locked in a 2.5 million-year-long fight for their lives every single minute, what exactly did they do with a 24-hour day? Tracking the specific hours of a typical Stone Age day reveals a highly organized social structure and the strategic planning required to navigate a 24-hour cycle. A typical day began with the hearth. Fire required constant management. Every morning, someone had to tend the coals, protect the embers, and feed the flames to bring the camp back to life. As the camp awakened, the group divided the day's labor. Some members set out to track medium to large game, while others focused on gathering wild plants, nuts, and hunting smaller animals. While men often hunted large game, these roles were flexible. Anthropological research on modern foraging societies confirms that women also actively participated in hunting, adapting their labor based on the immediate needs of the group. Survival relied on a coordinated, adaptable team strategy. The morning routine distributed the workload across the community, rather than locking individuals into rigid tasks. By midday, the camp functioned as a bustling workshop. Tools constantly dulled or snapped, so maintenance never stopped. People spent hours flint-knapping fresh blades and managing heat to mix complex chemical adhesives, like pine pitch, to glue stone points onto wooden shafts. They weren't draped in crude pelts either. Using tools like this carved bone needle, they pierced animal hides for fine stitching to create tailored garments, and crafted customized insulated footwear out of moss and leather to protect against the rough terrain. This chart shows an infant in a hunter-gatherer society receives up to 9 hours of attentive physical care daily. This care is distributed across a large network, with an infant interacting with up to 15 different caregivers. Older kids weren't hidden away. They stayed close to the fire, observing the adults preparing food and making tools, and slowly began taking on easier camp chores as their competence grew. The midday camp was simultaneously a factory and a school. Passing down essential knowledge wasn't a formal event, it was an automatic part of daily survival. Late afternoon brought the foragers and hunters back to camp, but the work wasn't over. Preparing raw ingredients was a massive time investment, requiring hours of grinding plants and cracking tough nuts and roasting meats to soften them. There was a strict expectation of food sharing. If one hunter came back empty-handed and another returned with a successful catch, the yield was always divided among the group. These specific diets and daily routines shifted depending on the region and the season. As the climate cooled or herds migrated, groups had to either pack up camp and move or adapt to endure severe winter conditions. Instead of sleeping in damp caves, early humans engineered climate-specific shelters. In central Ukraine, they built complex, interlocking dwellings out of mammoth bones. Communal food sharing and flexible architecture acted as humanity's original insurance policy, guaranteeing the entire group's survival even when individual luck or seasonal weather failed them. Once the sun went down and the food was eaten, the struggle for survival paused. The workday ended, and the camp transitioned into a period of resting and socializing together around the fire. People used this free time for aesthetic display and building their identities. We know they crafted personal body ornamentation, using tools to manually drill holes into small shells to string them together as jewelry. This evening downtime was also dedicated to health and care. Archaeological evidence shows that early humans consumed medicinal plants, like chamomile and yarrow, specifically to soothe aches and treat pain. During these night hours, the skilled storyteller played a vital role in the camp, entertaining the group, sharing memories, and reinforcing social bonds between families. These quiet social evening hours bonded the community together, ensuring the tribe remained a cooperative unit the next morning. A typical Stone Age day was a highly organized, skill-heavy routine built on community, shared resources, and communal child-rearing. The desperate, panicked brute from our modern imagination is a myth. In their place were cooperative problem solvers who carefully managed their time and their environment. Chatting around a fire, fixing their tools, sharing a meal, and collectively raising children are the foundational behaviors that defined our species. When we look closely at a day in the Stone Age, we are looking at ourselves.